for the spotlight, I commend this. Every step I take, I'm walking with my own promise. Eyes on me, but I'm only seeing myself. Worth isn't borrowed, it's carved into my health. They can talk, they can try, but they won't define me. Every line of my body whispers sovereignty. No compromise, no bargain, no plea. I move through the world unapologetically. Dignity is the crown I wear unseen. Silk and fire, I'm living like a queen. Self-respect, my most intimate scene. Worth that will bend, won't break, won't lean. I don't chase love, I attract it with my aura. Confidence draped on me like Prada. Every glance, every word is a reflection of my own truth, my own perfection. Hands can't touch it, eyes can't steal it, heart can't break it, soul can't conceal it. I'm a temple, I'm a flame, and dignity is more than just a name. Dignity is the crown I wear unseen. Silk and fire, I'm living like a queen. Self-respect, my most intimate scene. Work I won't bend, won't break, won't leave. I don't ask for respect, I exist with it. Every step, every breath, undeniable. Steps off, baby. This ain't just a vibe, it's a sanctuary. You just walked into the love palace. Welcome to a daily dose of D. Wrap yourself in satin, truth. This love ain't rushed, it's velvet smooth. Silk on your spirit, rose in your mouth. Let me show you what healing's really about. Ooh, she don't play with pleasure, nah. Only pours it where it's earned. Let it burn slow. A daily dose of D. Let the love run deep and free. One touch and you'll believe. She's the calm, she's the heat, she's the peace you need. Here in the love palace, where even broken ships sail smooth. Anchor down, baby, daily dose of D. Your prescription to feel seen. No refills, just show up and receive. Let your ships drift into healing seas. We don't chase waves, we ride them. She don't beg, she just glows.
Dignity. Before the followers, before the filters, before the applause and all the algorithms, there was worth. Before the job title, before the relationship status, and before that highlight reel, there was dignity. It doesn't trend. It doesn't beg to go viral. It doesn't compete for attention. It stands still in a world that scrolls fast. And today, we're not chasing likes. We are reclaiming worth. Welcome to Daily Dose of D. Grand rising, grand afternoon, or grand evening, depending on what time of day you're watching Daily Dose of D. I'm your host, Goddess D of Love. How's everyone doing today? It is Monday, and most of us have made it through this Monday already by the time we're watching this episode, or it might be Tuesday. But here today at Daily Dose of D, it's going to be Mindful Monday because we're going to talk about some things today, okay? What brought this conversation on? This word of the day. Let me go ahead and show you what the word of the day is so we understand where it came from. Dignity, the state or quality of being worthy of honor and respect. And the quote, dignity does not consist in possessing honor, but in deserving. So let me tell you before I get into this content. Y'all know what happened at the award ceremony and how the N word was said when they were getting their award, right? Seems like a lot of attention is focused on the guy with Tourette's saying the N word. And I can see how that is. But today, I want you to focus on the two gentlemen that were receiving the award and how they held their dignity. Dignity. We should be celebrating that because I'm telling you, you know it's hard in that situation to hold your dignity. And that's what brought this word of the day. Because of these two men showed dignity despite what they were going through. And that is the state or quality of being worthy of honor and respect. So let's go ahead and get into our dialogue today. Hey, did you know that I'm at episode 223? Mm-hmm. We at 223. And this one conversation is necessary for this generation because we're going to talk about dignity today. Right? So, as I mentioned the definition before, right? Dignity is the state or quality of being worthy of honor and respect. It's a composed sense of self respect and inherent value. The word comes from the Latin dignitatus, which is meaning worthiness, merit, or honor. So at its root, which is dignus, which means worthy. So when we speak of dignity, when we say dignity, we are speaking of the worth that is not up for negotiation. Dignity is not ego, because ego is going to say, I'm better. But dignity says, I know my value and so do you. In a world that monetizes insecurity, dignity is revolutionary. Now, people often ask, what's the real meaning, right? And it isn't about being fancy or acting superior. Real dignity is the internal recognition of your own intrinsic worth and the worth of others. It's that quiet, steady sense of, I matter and so do you. I just said that, right? The meaning of dignity is recognizing value that cannot be erased by circumstance. So it's how you see yourself when maybe you lose a job, right? It's how you carry yourself after a breakup. It's how you respond when someone tries to embarrass you publicly. Mhm. Dignity is practiced in ordinary modern day moments. It's choosing not to clap back with cruelty in a comment section. Mhm. It's declining to post something that would humiliate someone for entertainment. And it's not airing private conflicts or conversation online for validation. Did you hear those things that dignity is? I think I need to say those again because, as I said, this was because of what happened at the award ceremony, and I know you all have seen it, but if you're not aware, at the award ceremony when they were receiving the award for sinners, they someone blurted out the N word right in the middle of them receiving that. And these men, these two kings, held their dignity. And that's what we're focusing on today. Because dignity, right, today's society is choosing not to clap back in a cruel comment section in social media. It's declining to post something that might humiliate somebody just for entertainment purposes. Because that's what we hear, right? Oh, this is just for entertainment. This is not real life. But dignity is not letting you post something that will humiliate for entertainment purposes. And most importantly, this one, not airing private conversation, conflicts, disagreements, or whatever you're doing privately online for validation. The key aspects of dignity include having that self awareness, emotional regulation, and fairness. Three of my favorite things that I always mention almost on every daily dose of D, right? Self awareness, emotional regulation, and fairness, along with integrity and compassion. So, excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. I apologize. So, in today's society, this is very, very hard to do, or it's not even practiced. It's practiced ways that you could practice it. Excuse me. Let me get my composure back since we had that little distraction. Sorry. It's practiced when you admit you were wrong in public space instead of doubling down to protect your pride. Let me say that again. Its dignity is practiced when you admit you were wrong in a public space instead of doubling down to protect your pride. It's practiced when you don't exploit someone's vulnerability for content. Mhm. In everyday life, dignity means you do not degrade yourself for attention. It means you don't choose validation at the cost of your peace. It doesn't mean, excuse me, it means you don't allow your standards to just collapse, fall all apart because loneliness feels heavy. Dignity is when you walk away quietly instead of announcing your departure dramatically just to be noticed. And these two kings did that. They held their dignity. Because I'm telling you, when I seen the clip over at Big Mouthpiece, I was livid. Then I started going online and I was like, they really held their dignity. They had every right to act upright, but no, they didn't. They just continued on and lived and acted in dignity. So when we looked at the key aspects of dignity again, we're talking about anatomy, privacy, and the right to be seen. In daily life, practice dignity looks like holding your head up when things are going wrong, not out of pride, but out of self respect. It's about how you carry yourself in a conflict, choosing to respond rather than react, and ensuring that your actions align with your values, even when there is no one watching. That's that integrity, y'all. Okay, so let's be honest. We all feel tempted to post that shady quote or respond to them shady posts that we see, right? But to respond to that, to respond to that person that You know that sub to you and you really didn't want them to expose that text thread. Because social media makes it so easy to react in seconds to something that might take years to repair. Do you hear this? Social media has made it easy for you to react just like that. And once you have that reaction, it can take years to repair. Think about that. Now let's take a breath, get me back to where I was. Sip something that you're sipping on, maybe something warm, some tea, or whatever beverage you have, and ask yourself, does this align with who I really am? Does dignity align? I don't know. Ask yourself that. Well, I'm going to take a quick break and I'll be right back after this message to continue this conversation about dignity.
Dignity is the state or quality of being worthy of honor and respect. It's a composed sense of self-respect and an inherent value. So when you speak of dignity, we are speaking of worth that is not up for negotiation.
Where the love at? I see black hatred. Come on, bruh. Why come y'all still be on that fake shit? Come on, bruh. How you black hating on blacks? That shit racist. Come on, bruh. If they don't give it back to us, then should we just take it? Come on, brother. Where the love at? I see black hatred. I see it. Brother. Why come y'all still be on that fake shit? Come on, brother. How you black hating on blacks? That shit racist. Come on, crazy. Brother. If they don't give it back to us, then should we just take it? Come on, brother. Brother. Come on, brother. Go. Yeah, each one and teach brother. Come on, brother. Go. Brother. You tired of seeing people suffer, my brother? Go, brother. Hey, come still in that emergency state. Go red at the date. If we don't get our act right, it just might be too late. No longer the wait, it's about time we elevate. I know you love to talk down and debate, but how we gon' find a way to keep the kids from getting hit by bullets dead straight on the switch of a gun that didn't fuck up the aim? Don't trip, I'm still pulling up on Saturday at 2 or even 2:30. Big mouthpiece back to clear up your vision, cause I know it's been getting blurry. They say that boy ain't funny and he's strictly good vibes only. COC money land and this G is still the homies. Don't forget every other mental health money to come pull up on me. At about 2:45, we can go live like it's us only. Surely but surely, old boy said he my dog, but this I heard he been hating on me. Hey, hold up, homie, come on, brother. Where the love at? I see black hatred. Come on, my sister, don't you know you are destined for greatness? Come on, sister, put big brother mouthpiece in your playlist. Come on, sister, with your twin husband, see that's tasteless. Come on, sister, where the love at? I see black.
Welcome back, Love Palace family. If you did not get an opportunity to tune in to Big Mouthpiece on Saturday, and then today at, we just left over there from over there at Mental Health Monday. I was going to say motivational. Mental Health Monday. You are missing out on some good content, good conversation, and it's just relaxing and it gets serious, but we have a lot of fun. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Big Mouthpiece. Hit your notification button for the exact time that he will be going live on Saturdays. I know it's in the afternoon, and then every other Monday for Mental Health Monday. Okay? So, while we're getting into the subject of dignity, in order to really understand dignity, we have to know the types of dignity, right? Because dignity is the royal standard within. Royal, like two kings that Michael B. Jordan and what's his name again? Delroy. Delroy Lindo. I wanted to make sure they had dignity and show that they were royal. So let's talk about these four different types or four different pillars that we need to have with dignity. So the first one is definitely the first one is inherent dignity. So this is dignity you possess simply because you are human. This is the kind of dignity people can earn through their social standing, their hard work, or their titles. It's what we feel when we achieve something great. It does not disappear because someone disagrees with you politically, religiously, or spiritually. It does not shrink because of your bank account, okay? Even when someone is incarcerated, homeless, or struggling with any type of addiction or mentally ill, inherent dignity remains intact. And guess what? Society often forgets this. This is the inherent dignity. We inherit the dignity. The second one is moral dignity. Now, this is all about your character. It's the dignity you have because you're a good person who lives by a moral code. This is connected to your character and your ethical behavior. So when someone lies, cheats, manipulates, or humiliate others publicly for profit, their moral dignity weakens. Did y'all hear that? When someone lies, cheats, manipulates, humiliate people in public, they weaken their moral dignity. In contrast, when someone takes accountability online, apologizes sincerely, and corrects their behavior, their moral dignity strengthens. Yes, when you have the courage to take accountability, to be vulnerable, to apologize sincerely and in public if needed, and correct your behavior, this is going to strengthen your moral dignity. So then we have the dignity of identity. This is the most vulnerable type because it's tied to how you see yourself as a member of a group or as an individual with a specific story. If someone mocks your heritage or your body, they are attacking your dignity of identity. Let me say that again. If someone mocks your heritage or your body, they are attacking your dignity of identity. So this includes culture, gender, background, your personal story. When people mock accent, body types, disabilities, or lifestyles on platforms for entertainment, they attack identity dignity. When we celebrate diversity, respect it, and we honor it, y'all already know it strengthens it. So, like I said, this keep in mind this conversation is based off what happened to Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, right? Think about that. Think of how their dignity was almost taken away from them, right? But how they still kept their dignity despite it being part of entertainment or where the whole world can see. Think about that. So that fourth pillar or fourth type of dignity is going to be merit or status. This is the universal dignity that can't be taken away. It's the basic right to be treated as a human being regardless of your status or behavior. This is called dignity of merit and status. So this relates to roles and achievement. A doctor, a teacher, a parent, a CEO. These roles carry certain dignity. But when titles are used to dominate or belittle others, the dignity of that status becomes distorted. Mhm. When you have those titles and you use those titles to belittle others, that's going to distort that whole status of that dignity. So understand these distinctive matters because many people confuse status with worth. So let me tell you, status can change, worth does not. Let me say that again. Status, it could change, hmm but worth does not. So you can always, spot a person with dignity, or maybe you can't. Let me tell you some signs, like their composure, like those two gentlemen, right? A lack of need of external validation, and a consistent habit of listening more than they speak. Signs of dignity are visual in behavior. A dignified person does not overshare private pain for temporary sympathy. They do not bully anonymously. They do not pressure their values for likes. They speak calmly, even when provoked, and they correct privately instead of shaming publicly when possible. So there's some principles. Recognizing and respecting uniqueness, effective communication, and maintaining personal care privacy, and creating a respectful environment, cultivating a culture of dignity, and balancing challenging situations. So, in care settings, those are the principles of dignity, and they're powerful. So, these involve, I'm going to break these down, making sure a person has a choice in their care. That means maintaining their privacy, communicating with them as an equal, promoting their independence, and also addressing them by their preferred name, right? And involving them in decisions, and most importantly, treating them with genuine compassion. When you are caring for somebody, this could be mentally, physically, right? You want to make sure you giving that person a choice with the type of care they want. You're going to keep things that are private private. You're going to treat them as an equal. Don't treat them like, oh, because I'm taking care of you, that I don't have to respect you. Treat them as an equal, and let them know that you're going to promote them to be independent, and address them by their name, their preferred name, not the name you want to call them, okay? Recognizing identity means also calling someone, like I said, by their preferred name, not labeling them by diagnosis, respecting that privacy, like I said, and especially to our elderly ones, if they are able to, let them make decisions when they're capable of controlling them instead of you taking them for your own good. This is a sense of dignity. Maintaining confidentiality means protecting stories that they shared in trust. When you're saying they're equal, you're treating someone as less, not treating them as lesser because they have an ability or something they have to overcome. Encouraging participation means asking, not assuming. And then communicate with compassion. hmm And that means through your tone just as much as your words. Okay? That's when it comes to the matter of care. When these principles are ignored, you make people feel invisible. Yep, they start feeling invisible. So, a question: why is there a lack of dignity in society today? Like, that shouldn't even really happen at that award ceremony, right? Despite people's conditions and things like that. Why is there a lack of dignity? Because outrage generates engagement. Let me say that again. Because outrage generates engagement. Now, isn't this true? We are all engaged on what happened to them, right? We like they were getting that award for sinners. The N word came out. So now, once that was aired, which it should have never really aired or it should have been bleeped out, right? Everybody's engaged, right? Everybody's involved. Oh my God. And I am too, right? But the outrage generate engagement, not the fact that these two kings was up there getting an award for a movie that was produced by a black man as well and not getting the recognition for that. It got more focus on the outrage because that engages people. Okay, humiliation spreads faster than kindness. Do we not see that? To humiliate them, that spread so fast. hmm Council culture can sometimes forget restoration, and people are rewarded for spectacle and not substance. Some people lack dignity because of trauma taught through survival over self respect. When we were raised in environments where yelling was normal and boundaries were non existent, this is when we have a lack of dignity. Others confess attention, confuse attention with affirmation. Y'all hear that? People confuse attention with affirmation. And some have internalized the ideal that worth must be proven publicly instead of protected privately. Let me say that part again. And some of us have internalized the ideal that work must be shown out in public instead of protected privately. Let that sit with you. Let that sit with you right there. Think about the last viral thing that just happened we saw online. It's still it trends for days, right? It's still trending, right? But what happened to the people that were at the center of it? We consume moments and move on. They live with the aftermath. That's why dignity matters in today's society. All right, Love Palace family, I'm going to take a quick break and I'm going to return with this message about dignity. So have your dignity, hold your head up high and have dignity. And I'll be right with you right after these messages.
Civil rights keeps you under his restrictions, under his jurisdiction. Human rights are something you were born with. Human rights are your God-given rights. Anytime anyone violates your human rights, you can take them to the world court. Fear is not accidental. It is cultivated. When people are taught to fear each other, they stop uniting. And a divided people are always easier to control than a fearless one.
You don't lose your dignity when they hurt you. You lose it when you try to prove your worth to them. There's a version of you that doesn't chase closure, doesn't explain what they should have already valued, and does not shrink just to keep access to someone who never deserved it. Keeping your dignity is not silence from pride. It is silence from power. It is realizing that walking away is the response. It is choosing peace over performance. Every time you beg to be understood, you lower your own frequency. And women who carry grace know this. Dignity speaks louder than defense ever could.
Welcome back, Love Palace family. Now let's go ahead and get into, let's bring this home to personal behavior. hmm We're going to talk about acting and treating ourselves and others with dignity. I'm going to bring this home. So we're going to be really practical, okay? All right? So, how do we act with dignity? It starts with boundaries, people. A person with dignity says no. You see that check mark up there? hmm A person with dignity says no without feeling the need to over explain. hmm They don't beg for attention and they don't lower themselves to the level of someone who is trying to insult them. Now, I know this is hard because this was something hard for me as well, and I continue to work on that. But a person with dignity doesn't lower themselves to the level of someone that is trying to insult them. I ask again, how does a person act with dignity? They don't beg for love when there is a clear rejection. They don't insult someone's appearance in an argument because they can't win their point. They don't expose secrets to gain leverage. They handle disagreements offline when possible. They protect their peace without announcing it every hour. You hear that? A person with dignity doesn't scoop down to people's level when they're being insulted. They don't start pointing out, oh, you look like this and you have this when they're losing a disagreement. No, a person of dignity doesn't do that. They just bow down gracefully or bow their head or walk away. If there's a disagreement, they handle it offline because they are protecting their peace without saying it. That brings me to something. If you're healing and protecting your peace, you don't even have to announce it. You don't have to put that you're doing that because it shows, right? Question: how do we, us, me, you, treat someone with dignity? You let them speak without interruption. You don't record them vulnerable moments for content. Let me say this again. You do not record them vulnerable moments that you're having for content. You don't mock their mistakes. You don't use those moments where you were vulnerable and have them good, intimate conversations for content to bring up. When you get upset, you give them the chance to grow. When it comes to treating others with dignity, it's about the small things. It's looking the cashier in the eye and saying, thank you. Something simple like that. It's asking permission before touching someone or entering their space. When someone says you don't have dignity, it often applies behavior that appears desperate, manipulative, or self disrespectful. Did you hear that? When someone says you don't have no dignity, that's implying that the behavior appears desperate, manipulative, or self disrespectful. It may mean someone sees you acting beneath your own standards. That's that self disrespect. Accepting mistreatment, tolerating public humiliation, or abandoning integrity for validation. I can say it again. If someone ever tells you that you don't have dignity, what they're usually saying is that you compromise your values or allowed yourself to be degraded for a temporary gain. It's a wake up call to reclaim your worthy status. A lot of people confuse dignity with respect. And I say this before when I compare things. They're like cousins, right? They're not the same, but they're in the same family. Respect is often something you give based on someone's action or position. Dignity is something you recognize because they are human. You see the difference? Respect is based off of what someone's doing or their position or title. Dignity is because we are human. You might not respect a criminal's choices, but you still afford them the dignity of a fair trial and human treatment. Respect can be conditional based on action. Dignity is unconditional because it's tied to humanity. You may not respect someone's choices, but stripping their dignity dehumanizes both them and you. Let me say that again. You might not respect what somebody's doing, their choices and how their lifestyle is and what they do and how they dress, but by stripping their dignity away, that dehumanizes not only that person, but you. Mhm. Treating someone with dignity looks like disagreeing without name calling. Treating someone with dignity looks like disagreeing without name calling. Let me say it one more time. Treating someone with dignity looks like disagreeing without name calling. It looks like paying employees fairly. It looks like not using someone's vulnerability as a gossip material. It looks like active listening and acknowledging people's feelings, even if you disagree. But you don't want to give what you don't have. You don't want to give what you don't have. Showing dignity to yourself means speaking kindly of yourself in your head. Sometimes you got to say it out loud. I do. Speak kindly to yourself. It means grooming yourself, feeding yourself well, and walking away from tables where respect is no longer being served. Showing dignity to yourself means not posting every emotional impulse that you have. It means not comparing your behind the scenes to someone's highlight reel. It means refusing to stay in relationships, friendships, family dynamics, romantic connections when they are consistently belittled. Dignity affects every relationship. In friendship, it prevents public betrayal. In families, it stops generational curses of shaming, which means parents don't want to embarrass their children in public. Side note. In romantic relationships, it's the difference between a healthy argument and a toxic blowout. Dignity ensures conflict. Dignity ensures conflict does not become character assassination. Let me say that again because I dignity ensures conflict does not behave become character assassination. When dignity is not present, relationships become power struggle. Okay? So Is there some duality in this thing? And is there duality in dignity? Absolutely. Healthy dignity is grounded in humility, boundaries, accountability, and empathy. It's both a shield that protects you and a bridge that connects you to others. Now, that unhealthy dignity, which is often pride disguised as strength, refuses correction, avoids apology, and looks down on others. To have healthy dignity, you need to find the balance, the duality. You must have the humility to admit when you're wrong, but the strength to stand up when you're right. You practice transparency so you have nothing to hide, and you cultivate self discipline so that your impulses don't lead you to act in ways that you regret. Healthy dignity says this: I was wrong. My bad. My fault. I apologize. Unhealthy pride says, I will never admit fault. I didn't do nothing. Uh-uh. What you talking about? I don't even know what you talking about. I didn't do nothing. To have healthy dignity, you have to cultivate that self awareness. You must manage emotional impulses before broadcasting them. Manage your emotional impulses before broadcasting them. Establish standards and uphold them consistently. Practice private integrity, even when no one is watching. That's the one right there. Practice private integrity. You must extend grace without enabling abuse. And you must heal those wounds that tempt you to perform pain for attention. Before you post that late night emotional message, I want you to take a pause, go ahead and sleep on it. Because dignity often lives in space between impulse and action. All right. I'm going to close this up right after these messages, okay? I'm going to give my closing words on dignity right after this. Thank you for watching Daily Dose of D.
We're not explaining why respect matters, and we're not teaching grown people how to value us. If you don't see it now, you were never looking. And we are done dimming ourselves to make neglect feel comfortable.
She don't rush when she step in. She don't rush when she step in. She let the room lean in. Roots deep, yeah, she grounded. Still fly when she move with them. Plants on the altar, smoke in the air. She been healing while she right here. She don't chase what's ready. She aligned and it appeared. No, why? Mind right, body, loose spirit, talk when she move. Holistic royalty like cows. She don't say much, you can't tell. Holistic royalty, she move well. Mind, body, spirit, all in sync, she well. Holistic royalty like cows. She don't say much, you can't tell.
Welcome back, Love Palace family. Make sure you are subscribed to Holistic Royalty by Kels. She did that wonderful meditation today. If you did not get a chance to enjoy that, you could go ahead and run that back at on here on YouTube, right here, Holistic Royalty by Kels. You can do it before you go to sleep. I guarantee you go to sleep good. You feel me? So I am about to close this conversation with something powerful. Guard your crown. Dignity is not a decoration, it's a foundation. It's the way you hold your name when someone tries to drag it. It's the way you hold your peace when someone tries to disturb it. Dignity is not loud, but it is powerful. It does not argue for its worth, it already knows it. It's choosing not to perform pain for applause. It's choosing not to weaponize someone else's weakness. It chooses restraint when retaliation feels justified. Dignity is how you walk away without announcing your departure. It's how you forgive without reopening doors that were sent to teach you. It's the strength to apologize publicly when you were wrong. It's the wisdom to correct privately when someone else is wrong. Dignity, it's not perfection, it's alignment. Alignment between who you say you are and who you are when no one is watching. It's refusing to sell your standards for temporary validation, refusing to trade your integrity for trending moments, refusing to let loneliness convince you to accept disrespect. Dignity is sacred. It's how you love without losing yourself. It's how you lead without humiliating others. It's how you succeed without stepping on someone's humanity. You can have followers and still lack dignity. You can have wealth and still lack dignity. You can have all the intention and still lack dignity. But when you have dignity, you have something money cannot purchase and the internet cannot cancel. So I want all the kings and queens guard your crown, not the one made of gold, the one made of character. Polish your name, protect your spirit, and move with intention. Because when the noise fades, and it will, when the trend dies, it's gonna disappear. When them comments disappear, the only thing that remains is who you were when you had the choice to rise or to reduce yourself. I say today to you, Love Palace family, choose to rise. It's your royalty inheritance. I want to thank everybody for coming to Daily Dose of D today. And don't forget, we talked about dignity. It's your royal inheritance, people. I'm going to say this, and I don't know if they're going to hear this, but hey, Michael B. Jordan and Daryl, Roy, Lindo, I salute you and I bow humbly to you for displaying dignity in a time that wasn't even deserved. Thank you for showing us what true dignity means in our culture. I really appreciate you all. And may we continue to have the dignity that was displayed. They didn't cuss and fuss back at that moment, did they? Nope. They went along with their program, held their head up high as the kings they were, and had dignity. May we, Love Palace family, me, you, we, us, display that same kind of dignity. This is Daily Dose of D. I'm your host, Goddess Dia Love. Peace and love to everyone. Thank you for coming to the Love Palace. Peace and love. I will see you real soon. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification so you don't miss anything that happens at Daily Dose of D. And shout out to the replay game. Peace and love to everyone. And I'll see you real soon.
Georgia, Georgia. Yeah, just pulled up to the Love Palace. Ain't no cap here, just facts and feels. D and Kel's on the mic, we talking ships, all kinds. Pull up and unpack. Kiss and say. Friendships that held me down through the struggle. Companions who dipped when I stepped out the bubble. Family ties that tug, some tight, some frayed. But we lay it all out, let the truth get played. No judgment, just lessons on velvet chairs. We speak from the gut, raw love, stripped bare. Got a steed, got that glow like sage in the wind. Queen Coles hit the mic, truth spilling again.
Ships, we talk it, we walk it. No filters, just real. Love Palace, the spot where your soul can heal. All them ties, all those vibes, we ain't letting them drown. We lift ships up, never tear them down.
Situationships with benefits and
Carry yourself with dignity. Never walk through this life acting like you don't know who you are. People will treat you the way you present yourself, so show them confidence, show them strength, and show them that you know your worth. You are not desperate. You are not confused. You are definitely not a fool. You are a whole person with purpose, vision, and direction. When you walk into a room, walk like you belong there. When you speak, speak with intention. When you make decisions, make them with clarity because you know what you bring to the table and you know what you deserve. Don't shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Don't lower your standards to keep someone close. The right people will respect you, honor you, and uplift you, not drain you or take advantage. Protect your peace and remind yourself daily, I am worthy, I am enough, and I will never allow anyone to treat me less than I deserve. Carry yourself with dignity. Speak with purpose. Move with the confidence of someone who knows exactly who they are.
Love like she don't just love, she heals and keep. Let go, let flow. Daily dose of D in the land that is free. In the Love Palace, ships dock even here. Yeah, we guide the tide. Goddess D. Whispering back when your heart needs reminding. D is divine, D is daily, D is love, a daily dose.